Right guys, I'm back. I haven't done a video for a while, but I've been bloody tagged, didn't I? Who did tag me? That was Tetley. He's a good old boy, Tetley, top boy. And I thought, why not? Why not reply to this? Because it's going around. I've seen a few of them myself. And I thought, yeah, maybe I can do a video and give people my 10 answers to the video games. 10 questions about video games that's going around. So what I did was I wrote the questions down and let's get on with it, shall we? So the first question that was asked, before I start actually, I believe this started with Tony Fighter 24. Hopefully that's his name. I'm sorry if I got that totally wrong. What I'll do, I will link the guy in my comments in the descriptions below. Same with Tetley, I'll put his channel in the descriptions. But yeah, I believe he started it. Right, so the first question is, what type of video games do you like to play? Right, if I had to choose just one video game, no, actually I think that's a question later on actually, so maybe I won't say that. No, so what type of games do I like to play? Right, Metroidvania types, platformers, like your Mario and your Sonics, some RPGs like Zelda. I'm not a great lover of turn-based RPGs like Final Fantasy VII. I didn't mind playing that, but I much prefer like the Zelda type from the SNES or the NES. We just go around and you whack people and then they just drop whatever you know, because it's just too long-winded, isn't it? The old turn-based I find. Racing game, arcade races. I've got one here actually to show you that I really enjoy playing, and that is Rush Rally. If you've just got like a spare 10 minutes, this is perfect. It's just like playing down the arcade. I really enjoy this game. It's one that I always put on when I'm short on time, just for a quick spin. So yeah, they're sort of types of games I like. I wouldn't say I totally dislike any kind of game, but they're the types that I always gravitate to anyway. Right, the second question, number 2. How much time on average do you spend playing video games in a week? That's a tough question really for me, because it varies. This time of year when the kids are off of school, it's going to be a lot less because they need a bit more of my time. It's harder to get out to the games room. So this sort of time of year, I'll probably say a few hours a week if I'm lucky, maybe 3 or 4. When the kids aren't off school, and if I'm off work or whatever, then I'll probably play a bit more. If I had to say an average, if you did it over the year, maybe 7 hours a week. I'd say an hour a day, maybe. If I can, I think that's fair. Lately, I've been playing a lot of my 3DS. Sort of when I go to bed, you know what I mean. Whack that on for half an hour then, and play a bit like that. But hopefully when the children go back to school, then maybe I'll be able to get out here and have a sort of spare few more hours to play, shall we say. Right, so the third question, guys. Can video games be educational? Yeah, of course they can. And I'll tell you a typical way I believe they can. When I was probably, I don't know how old I was, probably 12 or whatever, I picked up the latest Mario game thinking, oh yeah, this is going to be the next best thing kind of thing, because it's Mario, Super Nintendo, it's got to be good. And that was Mario's Missing. And it wasn't until I got it home and started playing it and I was thinking, what the hell is this? It keeps asking me questions. Then I went back and looked at the front of the box and it's got in the corner there, like this is an educational learning game. So yeah, I was a little bit surprised, shall we say, but it did educate me a little bit about the world, so it was all good in that respect. So yeah, I definitely would say games can be educational. I suppose as well, when you're trying to play a video game, if you get stuck on something and you keep repeating it, and eventually you get better with your hand skills, you get better with your eye coordination on games. I love watching my youngest play video games and like seeing the penny drop. And he finally gets it, the excitement in his face when he manages to get past a bit that he hasn't been able to do in the past. It's brilliant. So yeah, definitely, I think video games can be educational, guys. Right, question 4. What don't you like about video games? Right. There's a few things I could probably pick up. So let's go straight back to when I was younger. When they say things like NES hard, I remember that quote quite well because, you know, they used to make games so bloody rock hard they were impossible to complete. Anyway, for me, like an average gamer, I never used to like that. I always thought that was unfair. Why make a game so hard for a home console? But a lot of these games were ports, weren't they? And I suppose the programmers, that's just how they thought about it. You know, but make it hard, so make it harder to beat. That's one thing I didn't like about video game when I was younger. But if we talk more about today, modern loading times are like the PS5. You know, kids like playing. My boys like playing Fortnite, and they like me to play every now and then. So I jump on with them, but I don't play a lot. So whenever I go turn my PS4 on, sometimes it comes up with like a 70-minute update, and I'm like, right, boys, I'm out of the game now because, you know, it's going to probably take more like 2-3 hours. You know what I mean? By the time it's completely done and uploaded and that. So that's a bit of a gripe. But I suppose that could be fixed with a better internet connection. I did write something else down it. Yeah, the other thing I don't like about modern gaming is obviously my boys are playing Fortnite and they play on their PCs, and the way they talk to each other, the toxic game chat nowadays is the amount of times I have to walk into their room and say to him, can you please shut up, or can you please calm down, or can you look, it's a video game, man, just chill out. I'd love to just bring him out here and stick him in front of one of our games from back in the day and say, yeah, that's hard, mate, not what you're playing. So yeah, like the toxic game chat is probably something that I'm not too keen on today. Right, number 5. How much do you spend on video games? Right, how much do I spend? Probably too much. But I haven't done lately. I've kind of reined it in lately. I suppose when anyone starts their video game collecting journey, we're probably all criminal of it, of spending money on stuff that potentially we might not play, or you think, oh, I you know, that's a certain game, I should have that in my collection or whatever. But I soon adjusted that, and I realised, no, it's too expensive, this hobby, to do things like that. So I only buy things nowadays that I want to play. I'll give you an example of that. So like when I go to the London Gaming Market, I never go down there going, right, I've got a list of this and this that I want to buy. I normally walk around about 2 or 3 times and look for something either nostalgic or something I know I've either played in the past, or something that is appealing to me before I start spending my money, because I do generally nowadays want to pick up stuff that I want to play. But getting back to the question, how much do I spend monthly? So with the time of the year, obviously with the children being off, probably spend less. But if I have to average it out, I'll probably maybe £40-50 a month. I think that'd probably be fair to say that, as how much I spend on it. I mean, I'm not scared of spending a few quid. I mean, the Vectrex here, you see in the background, I think probably 6 months ago I dropped 450 quid on that. It came boxed with about 9-10 games, and yeah, I saw that, I wanted one, I knew I was going to play it, so I was happy to spend that. It's probably the most expensive thing that I've ever bought for my games room. But also, like, sometimes like a Mega Drive game, maybe 150 quid is probably where it is at for the most expensive games that I will buy. I probably wouldn't go higher than that with certain games. Just think I struggle to get past that sort of figure for just a game, because I in the back of my head I've got to think I've got to be fair with my family. So yeah, £50 a month is to answer the question. So I've waffled on a bit there, haven't I? Right, let's get to the next question. What number was that? That was 5. So your favourite video games console? Right, so I've got a few. I'll give you my number 1 in a minute, but the 2 that are the best for me to play, I would say, are the Super Nintendo and the Mega Drive. I love the 16-bit era. Probably the best time in gaming. So many great games. What more? Everyone knows what I'm talking about. In my opinion, it is the pinnacle of video gaming. But my favourite video games console of all time, and it will always be this, nothing will ever change, and that is the NES. It was the first games console I ever got. I got it for Christmas when I was probably 10, 9, whatever I was at the time. Had the Turtles pack. And I loved that game. So yeah, so much nostalgia for that console. It just has to be that one. Right, so the next question. Number 7 are we on now? Yep. What is your favourite video game? Right, favourite video game. Now I've got a few I want to show before I show you mine. Put them up here. Just going to show you a couple. So this was like high, very, very high on my list. And that's Legend of Zelda on the SNES. This game, just... Sometimes this could be number 1, and other times the other one can be number 1. But this is probably on par, I'd say, for my favourite video game, but I haven't gone with it today. But it's a classic game that. On the Mega Drive, Sonic 2. I love this game. I love how the music, the levels, I love everything about it. Everyone's played it. It's a game that still stands up today. So yeah, if I had to choose one on the Mega Drive, it would be that. Then obviously we've got Super Mario World, another classic, brilliant game. Probably one of the best Mario games ever made. But this is nostalgia doing it for me. So this is probably my favourite game of all time, and that is Super Mario Bros. 2. Now a lot of people are probably going, "Are you mad, Alex? It's not even a Mario game originally." But this is the first game I ever bought with my own money. So it's always going to have that burnt-in imprint in my mind of being my favourite. And I played it a hell of a lot when I was younger. It's nostalgia, isn't it? It's what it does to us. So yeah, that is my favourite game of all time. But very, very, very close with Zelda as well. Right, the next question. Sorry. I thought it was the same question I wrote down, but it isn't. What is your favourite video game movie? Now, this is a tricky one for me. I've seen a lot of people talk about their favourite video games. But I'm going to say it. Super Mario Brothers, not the original one, the one that came out a few years ago, by Illuminations, is it? The same people who did Despicable Me. Now, the reason I say that is because I went to the cinema with my boys, and as I was watching that movie, it was just like, it just took me back to when I was a kid as well, and seeing all the little hidden Easter eggs in the game, in the movie, about the time when I was growing up, sort of Punch Out things in the background. There's a few others as well, I can't remember off the top of my head, but I know they were there. And I just remember really, really enjoying that movie, especially with the family and that. So I'm going to put that at number 1. I know that's probably people going, "Oh wow," all the other movies like Tron and and all the other movies that I could have picked out. But yeah, I'm just going to say that just because of how much I enjoyed it at the time. So yeah, a bit controversial probably, but I don't care. They're my answers. All right, question 9. What is your favourite video game character? Right. Favourite video game character. Obviously, high on the list is going to be Mario and Sonic, Donkey Kong, Diddy Kong from Donkey Kong 2. Really enjoyed playing that character in that game. But if I have to choose one, I have to choose this guy because of how much time I spent with him on adventures, and that's got to be Link. Link in the Zelda games. I just love the character. He's brilliant. It's, from the very first Zelda game that ever came out in 1987, I want to say 86, 87, and then on to obviously the Super Nintendo one. I love them games, and it's probably the most time that I've put into games. Especially with the latest games, Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. I've got to say Link. At the end of the day, he is my favourite character. I don't. Some people, I think it was Tootie who said someone that you'd probably have tattooed onto you. I don't think I'd ever go to them extremes, but he is probably top of my list as a character. Right. Last question. Least favourite type of game. What is my least favourite type of game? This is probably going to be a bit controversial as well, this. But I'm going to say fighters. Even though I do like a few of them. I love Street Fighter. And I love Killer Instinct. And I love Mortal Kombat. But I'm only saying fighters because I don't enjoy playing them on my own, like against the computer. I think them sort of games are the ones that you need to play, like obviously with your mates and that. And that's fine when you're mates and that, but like the amount of time that I come out here, the kids don't like them either. My children, they don't really enjoy playing them types of games. So I'm only saying it's my least favourite type because it's what I don't play the most of. If I had to choose, I'm trying to think of something else really that I don't. And actually, in my collection now, looking at it, I haven't got a lot of fighter games. Predominantly my games collection is platformers or, like I said in the past, Metroidvania types, racers, that kind of thing. So yeah, I'm probably going to have to say fighters is probably the least favourite type game, or yeah, I'm just going to have to go with it, guys. I'm sorry, I know it's so controversial, but I'm just going to say it, that it is fighters is probably my least favourite type of game. It's not that I don't like them, but they're probably just on the bottom of the list for me to play. Right, that is the end of my questions. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. I haven't been around for a while, so I've enjoyed actually getting in front of the camera again. It's been enjoyable. Now I'm supposed to tag 2 people. I'm going to tag Martin from the Hobby Lodge, whether he does it or not, because I know he's taking a little break as well. It's up to you, fella. Hopefully you do. Hopefully this gives you a bit of inspiration to get in front of the camera again and give us your answer to these 10 questions. And someone else, Lee Nerdy Geezer, there you go. I don't know if you've done a response to these questions yet, fella, but I'd love to hear your answers as well if you haven't done it already. Right guys, I've really enjoyed that. Hopefully I'm going to do another update in my games room soon, because I've just spent a lot of time tidying up again. I've put some carpet tiles down, give it a bit of a spruce up, got rid of a lot of the clutter. Just got a few more jobs to do, and I'm going to do that video, I promise. And yeah, hopefully then, till then, sorry, I'll catch you guys later. Thanks for watching, guys.